Well, we've just kind of continued that wet pattern here as we've made our way throughout the last few days here in North Georgia, but you'll notice that today, here on Wednesday, we have had some drier air return. It is actually going to be a little bit more on the comfortable side today, just by a little bit compared to what we've been dealing with. Not seeing any rain on the radar. Nice drier look out there. And let's go ahead and take a look at what we're seeing as of 2:30 Wednesday afternoon here in North Georgia. Of course, we do these updates every Wednesday, trying to keep everybody updated on what the forecast is, what's happening not only right now, but what the forecast is going to be as we head all the way throughout the end of the week, into the weekend, and into the early part of next week. You can see a lot of blue sky out there, just a little bit of spotty cloud cover here and there as we look down towards Midtown and downtown Atlanta as a whole. Temperatures right now sitting at 85 degrees. It feels like 87. Now, with higher dew points and higher humidity, it would typically feel much hotter than what it actually is, feeling maybe even 5 or 6 degrees hotter. But thanks to that drier air that we've had move in, it actually feels only about 2 degrees hotter than what it actually is. Still 66 degree dew points. That's considered humid. So yeah, it's drier, but only by a little bit. You know, notice the winds there out of the northwest, about 8 miles per hour out of the northwest, bringing in some of those drier conditions. Let's take a look up towards Blue Ridge. That wouldn't be a bad place to be right now once you get some of that cooler, drier air trying to come in as we head closer and closer into the fall months. Blue Ridge, always a hot spot to hang out when it's a little bit cooler out there. Beautiful look there. And then as we look out towards the Georgia's Rome area. Actually, no, this is Athens. Looking out towards Athens, just a few spotty clouds here and there. Excuse me, that kind of skyline had the same similar look to it as over there towards Rome. So 85 degrees right now, and as we head throughout the next few hours, going to continue to see a good amount of sunshine there as temperatures rise into the lower 90s. So yeah, it's less humid, but it's still pretty hot out there. Temperatures still expected to be rising right there around that 90 degree mark for today, so keeping us on the hot side. And then you see that with that 11 Alive app, this is what it actually looks like. You can go ahead and download the radar. That way you can, or download the app to have a look at the radar whenever we do have rain out there, because we do have some chances later on this week and into early next week. Send us in your weather wow moments, and then of course keep updated with the forecast whenever you're on the go. Watch live there at the bottom allows you to watch the newscast wherever you may be if you're away from home. And if you're at home, make sure you download the 11 Alive Plus app. That's our platform that allows you to get a little bit more in the way of news and weather whenever you're at home. You always get that extra little bit of information from those stories that we're constantly covering all throughout the day, every day, right here in the Atlanta metro and all across North Georgia. Again, 11 Alive Plus, that's on Roku and Fire TV. So no rain out there as we take a wider look across the southeast. You notice some shower and thunderstorm activity there closer on towards Brunswick, Georgia. We're looking way down in the southeast corner there and into the Florida Panhandle. They are dealing with a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity there. And then you see off into portions of the western Atlantic, they're seeing a little bit of shower activity as well, but we're really not seeing too much of it right here in North Georgia. It's nice and dry out there. Temperatures, meanwhile, sitting in the mid to upper 80s, 89 in Peachtree City. That's the hot spot on the board. Blairsville coming in at 81, so not too far away from Blue Ridge there. Pretty comfortable conditions. Now, forecast track shows us as we head throughout these next few hours, we're going to see temperatures rise again into the upper 80s and lower 90s. Moving into tonight, temperatures will eventually drop down into the 60s. Going to be having that north wind continue. You see some of those dots showing up on the screen there. That's showing the winds coming further out of the north, keeping us again on the drier side with things. And we move into Thursday about 5 p.m. You can start to see a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity. That's going to be mainly to our south and east, impacting areas closer on to the coastal plains of Georgia. You see some heavier shower activity, especially south of Augusta. That activity is going to continue to stay to our south, at least for the day there on Friday, or excuse me, on Thursday. But on Friday, starting off the day, 60s and 70s, maybe a little bit of spotty shower activity into the afternoon. So something we're going to have to keep a close eye on is the fact that we will be having a little bit of rain chances here and there. It's not going to be dry completely. We will be having some rain chances return later on this week. So at least we got a little bit of a break from it right now because we've had plenty of rain so far for the month of August. It has kept us a little bit on the cooler side until we've gotten to these last few days. Notice that as we head throughout the day today, we hit 90. For Thursday, we are going to hit 90 degrees as well. That is above average. Average is now 87 for this time of year. And then moving into the weekend, you'll see the temperatures are going to be dropping down there closer on into the mid 80s. So we talked about it just a moment ago. Yeah, it has been a little bit of a cooler month. Our high temperatures each day for a majority of the month have been either at or below the normal. Notice that we've only had a few days that brought us above normal temperatures, most of it happening in the last few days here. But you had a big stretch throughout the middle portion of the month where we had some slightly cooler conditions. Now we're right back at the 90-degree mark. 55 times so far for 2022 is how much we've hit 90 degrees, and we're likely going to make that 56 for today. Far away from that record, though, of 91 days hitting 90 degrees in 1 year. The latest 90-degree days that we have had in a year here in Atlanta, the latest in a calendar year that is, have been October 9th in 1941. We still hit 90 degrees. And notice on the fifth place spot there. In 2017, we hit 90 degrees as late as September 28th. So not out of the norm for us to possibly hit it a few more times here, but we're definitely moving into that time of the year where those temperatures are really going to start to trim back and feel a little bit better. The rain chances over the next 5 days showing us that again, it will be dry today. It will be dry for Thursday, but then we move into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Those rain chances slowly climbing up. So how much rain can we expect from that? It's looking like anywhere from 1/2 inch to maybe even up to 1.5 inches of rainfall. Some spots closer on to that Alabama border, state border, could get even closer on up towards 2 inches of rain. So a good amount of rain should continue to keep us out of drought. The latest drought monitor showing pretty much all of Georgia out of drought with the exception of a little sliver here closer on over towards Augusta. But you see everybody else, at least here in the 11 Alive viewing area, no longer under any drought conditions. That's great to see. And that's because of, again, how much rain we've had so far for the month of August. You see 6.79 inches, so that's well ahead of where we should be. The normal for the month to date right now, 4.17 inches is where we should be sitting as of today. But you see we are well ahead of that. So it's been a nice wet month, and looks like we will finish up the month with some nice amounts of rainfall. There was 6.79 inches, and as we start off September, it may be dry there for Thursday, but we're going to have plenty of chances for rain so that we can start moving towards that 3.82 inch mark so we can meet that September normal. You know, it's a 7-day forecast picking up on those rain chances, having a 30% chance for rain on Friday, 30% chance in for Saturday, and then you see the rain chances just climbing up to a 40% chance Sunday and Monday. Tuesday even coming in with a 30% chance as temperatures sit around in the mid to upper 80s. That's right where we should be this time of year. So nothing too out of the norm. Looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook though, we're now looking at the middle portion of September. Looks like we're going to continue the trend of those wet conditions. So similar to what we've been dealing with all the wet weather, we're going to continue to have that chance for some rainfall here. Moving into the middle of September, it also seems to be that we are going to be having above average temperatures, and that would be kind of upper 80s, maybe even lower 90s possible there for North Georgia. And you see that a majority of the United States is also going to be dealing with those kinds of conditions. So while we're continuing to deal with some fairly hot conditions, you know, nothing again too out of the norm, things are starting to heat up in the Atlantic. We do have 3 areas that the National Hurricane Center is watching for the possibility of development. First one we're going to look at is just off the coast of Africa. It's moving off to the west there, has a 40% chance of development over the next 48 hours, a 50% chance over the next 5 days. We also have a high chance of tropical development for what is considered Invest 91L. That's going to be a high chance of development over the next 5 days, 80% chance. That's just east of the Lesser Antilles. It's expected to move to just east of the Bahamas here and Turks and Caicos over the next few days, something we're going to continue to keep a close eye on. And then in the far northern portion of the Atlantic, still a high chance for tropical development there, 70% chance. That one doesn't look like it would do anything other than kind of dizzy up the fish out there in the Atlantic, but something we'll continue to keep a close eye on. I also want to go ahead and show you what we have as far as the spaghetti models are concerned with Invest 91L. Right now, they all have the system kind of pushing closer on to the Lesser Antilles, but then kind of curving off towards the north as they get closer on to Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas. You notice that it kind of turns right here for most of them. So it doesn't look like it could impact us. It may just turn off to the north, something we'll have to continue to keep a close eye on. But of course, we'll continue to keep you updated on this all throughout the next few weeks. And then, of course, on hurricane season, all the way up to the end of the season, which is still a long way away. The peak of the season is just about a week away now, about a week and a half, September 10th. It started on June 1st. Hurricane season ends, though, on November 30th. Now, it's been a while since we had a named storm. The last time we had a named storm was Colin, and that was, goodness, I guess that was back in June, I want to say. So it's been a long time, and it's looking like the next named storm, if we do get another named system, would be Danielle, then Earl, Fiona, and we're going to continue to keep a close eye on all of that. So, you know, we love to answer questions that anybody ever has whenever they come join our live streams like this. You can go ahead and text WWX to 404-885-7600, and you can ask the question there. Whatever question it may be about the tropics, about our weather here in North Georgia. Maybe you're wanting a specific locations forecast. And you can also head over to YouTube, to the 11 Alive YouTube channel, and you can ask a question there in the comments. We're happy to answer them for you. This is why we do this, to make sure that you, the viewer, can continue to stay informed on the forecast. So, moving away from the tropics, talking about some locations not far away from North Georgia, and even one here in North Georgia, so you can be ready for the weekend. You know, a lot of people are trying to make those plans. Should I take the extra day off from work to head on down to Destin or head up to Gatlinburg? It's looking like we're going to have some rain chances. It's not constant rain, and, you know, unfortunately, a lot of these weekend getaways have been dealing with the shower activity, just like what we've been dealing with. But this weekend, looking like we could be having some wet conditions at times. Off and on showers and storms continue to be the trend for our neighboring locations as well as for us, at least as we head into the weekend here in North Georgia. For Thursday, though, rain chances will be lower for Atlanta. You notice some other parts of the state, mainly into the southern and eastern, even portions of middle Georgia, are going to be dealing with better chances for rain there for Thursday. But again, here in North Georgia, we're not expecting any issues. So if you want to head out, go do a great hike, one of the great state parks here throughout the state, it's looking like a great day for it, other than if you're going to be closer maybe down towards Getaway Island. Again, southeast portions of the state going to have better chances for shower and thunderstorm activity. You see all the sunshine that they'll have up at Cloudland Canyon, up towards Amicalola Falls. They've had a lot of rain recently, should make the waterfall nice and swollen, looking beautiful there, looking beautiful at Tallulah Gorge, I'm sure, as well. So head out there and check out some of those beautiful Georgia state parks. So I do want to bump everything back up to the 7-day forecast, give you another idea of what we have for this week. The 7-day forecast, again, showing that we will be dry here for today, dry for Thursday, temperatures rising into the 90s. If you're sick of the 90s, don't worry, we're back into the 80s for Friday, and then all the way into Tuesday of next week. Now, we love giving these updates, making sure that you're informed. Be sure that you're tuning in every Wednesday at 2:30 for these live weather updates. You can always go back on the 11 Alive Plus app and watch these updates again. If you had anything that you wanted to get a little bit more information on, it's always going to be right there on the 11 Alive Plus app for Roku and Fire TV devices. We'll, of course, continue to keep you updated on everything right here at 11 Alive on air, as well as online at 11alive.com. Be sure to also follow us on our social media channels. We'll continue to keep you updated on everything, again, not just for the forecast here in North Georgia, but also as things continue to heat up in the tropics.